Happy Monday, and today is going to be primarily Palantir based. So if you are a Palantir shareholder, welcome. Hopefully you find value in today's episode. Please smash the like button, and if you want to see more of my lovely face, then definitely subscribe here on YouTube. It's completely free. I'm going to try to keep this video relatively short. I respect you guys' time so much, so here we go. Palantir! Ooh, that's a pretty awesome graph, isn't it? We're going to get to that momentarily, real quick. Just going to get out of some housekeeping stuff really quick, because I want to go ahead and pretty much talk for about a minute for my positions, their upcoming earnings here over the next several weeks. We got Meta. Yesterday I uploaded a new video, talked all about Meta earnings. Actually, I lied. I uploaded a video a couple days ago talking about Meta's earnings. SoFi's video was yesterday. SoFi's earnings this Friday. I'm stoked. I'm pumped. I can't wait. Palantir, February 2nd. That's going to be epic, followed by AMD, followed by PayPal. That may be little bit more pain on my profile. Hood is going to be awesome. Honest Company, that's a little further out. And then, of course, Adobe as well, too. That's very much further out as well. But like I said, I want to talk about Palantir because Palantir has really shocked so many people. It shocked me significantly. It's absolutely just been a wild of a ride. Quick little story about myself here. Back in 2023, 24 time frame, I was actually trading Palantir. Swing trading. Swing trading is when you hold a position shorter than 6 months. A short-term swing could be 1 month to maybe 3 months. But I was buying Palantir 14, 15, 16 bucks. Stock went to the high 20s. Sold, walked away with close to 100% profit. I ended up making well over like 10 grand. It was pretty awesome, not gonna lie. And then Palantir soared to the 30s. I got back in the low 30s with the S&P 500 inclusion. I sold in the high 60s, made another double up as well. Got back in the 80s and the 90s during Liberation Day low. Was actually owning Palantir on 2 different profiles. And ended up selling in the 150s, 160s. And well, I got back in Palantir again right before Thanksgiving of 2025. It feels like yesterday, but it's actually almost 3 months ago. Pretty much with that gigantic AI fear, not to mention government shutdown, interest rate cut fears all around. I have made probably close to anywhere between, I would say, probably 20 to 30 grand of profits over Palantir, which, I mean, that's definitely nothing bad. Profits are profits. However, if I had held on to Palantir shares, if I had held on to those shares in the $14, $15, $16 range, they would be well beyond 100 grand worth of shares right now. That's life-changing money. Not to mention if I double down with more shares and all the big dips. So double down when it was falling below 30 bucks, below 20 bucks, added more shares, added shares during Liberation Day. I would have a massive position. To be honest, Palantir across my profiles would probably be my biggest position, like many people out there. This company has shocked so many people because it is the first of its kind. The bare notion is that this company is extremely overvalued on a forward PE. We're just entering a very insane high valuation, but is it really insanely high? Because the company is just continuing to grow, and it's something like we've never seen with these AI companies. An AI company is not just a tech company, it's like a tech company 2.0. It adds a lot of value. NVIDIA at one time during 2023 was actually very, very much trading very high in the hundreds of a forward PE, which is just screaming overvalued. But what ends up happening is as the revenue increases per quarter and on a year-over-year basis, their revenue catches up to their forward PE, and that can turn into a value stock. You can have a sell-off in the stock, and then it rebounds, kind of like we've seen with Apple over the years. Apple used to be a growth company. Now it's very much a value company. But here's the catch. Palantir is still growing. So is it going to be a value company someday? Oh, sure. But when is that going to happen? That is the argument, and it's probably the trillion-dollar question, to be really honest, because you have perma-bears around Palantir pretty much preaching that, hey, this company is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar company because of what it revolves around. The community among Palantir is still very strong. I myself have stuck through the community throughout the entire time, and yeah, it's a lesson learned about really turning away from staying in phenomenal growth companies and not really trading them. If you've been following me on this channel, you know that I'm a raging SoFi bull for the next 10 years. So I'm definitely not making that same mistake with SoFi unless something fundamentally changes which alters my strategy. But Palantir's fundamental strategy has changed to the upside, not to the downside. Can SoFi's strategy change as a company? Can they maybe change to the upside? Oh yeah, because right now SoFi, it's very different than Palantir, but they're very much a fintech. They're a bank and also a technology company. What if theoretically they moved away from lending and they moved all to technology? That could propel their growth significantly. That changes everything to the upside. Palantir with all their government contracts, not to mention how the Trump administration is very much friendly with a lot of these companies, very much more friendly than the previous administration was. Hold on, morning water, cheers. It is 11:48 a.m. Hopefully everyone survived the storm of the century. I actually watched episode 1 of Stephen King's Storm of the Century last night. Fell asleep a little bit early, didn't have enough time to watch episode 2 and 3, but they're phenomenal movies. What we see on the screen right here for Palantir is basically a year over year. Their revenue, they're about to do 1 billion revenue per quarter, which is crazy. And that is revenue. Think about what's going to happen when they start producing net revenue to an insane level per quarter. It adds a psychological value, and it adds a lot more of growth to the company. Now, another great, crazy thing too is their EPS is going on a rocket ship here. Their last quarter, they put up a growth of 68%. So if we look at the charts here, I'm a technical dude, but of course I believe in fundamental analysis. You got to know both. A lot of great investors, they don't spend a lot of time on the moving averages here, but everything ties in. We are trading in this very weird range, let alone every stock pretty much in the stock market right now is stuck in a range. After their amazing earnings, Michael Berry, the big short, had a big short position on Palantir. That added a lot of stupid fears in this. Then you go ahead with the government shutdown. I started buying Palantir again in here. Obviously, my average is 158, so I'm up a little bit. I believe like 8%. Palantir on my channel profile here is my fourth biggest position size, 9.12% here. And the thing about Palantir is that the management team just continues to execute. Now, the word on the street is that retail, along with analysts, are really to go ahead and beat 68% would be insane. Like, this stock would bust through all-time highs if they go ahead and put up another, like, if they beat on 68%. The consensus is really to keep their growth rates above, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's 40% now, to keep their growth rates very high, above 40%. So if they come in with like maybe 50, maybe 55%, anything above 40, anything above 50 But I mean, if they go ahead and go above and beyond and they're like, hey, we're at like 70% right now and we're growing like Nvidia was during 2023, insane growth. Like, this stock is just continuing to shock people, and the valuation, it's just going to continue to grow. What I'm really looking to do as a Palantir shareholder is that this company is a phenomenal, great company. It shocked me so many times. For whatever reason, if we were to really dip, like, let's say they do put up great numbers, but the stock price goes down, it is a screaming buy, because that probably means there's external factors. We got some fears with the economy right now about another government shutdown. Can it happen? Sure, anything is possible. I mean, a nuclear missile could very well land in New York City. Anything's possible. Do I personally believe another government shutdown is going to happen? Well, it depends how cynical you really want to be. Do I want to go ahead and buy more cheap stock? I would love that. But I am very much more, like, well-positioned than I really was back before Thanksgiving. Back before Thanksgiving, a couple months ago, I was actually underinvested in the market. So now I'm a little more well-positioned, actually better than well-positioned. But I mean, hey, look, if this stock goes down, it's a buy for me personally. As always, do your own due diligence here. But it's very hard to really keep this stock low, especially when you have a management team that is just going to keep executing. So we really got to see what happens with their with what their guidance is, their growth rates, pretty much everything. And stay tuned, Palantir shareholders, because this is going to be massive. And for me personally, this is like it's my fifth time being back in the stock here, and there is still money to be made here. Now, I will say, though, on a closing note, obviously, to go ahead and get a double up on Palantir right now, it's not as easy as as potentially a double up on maybe AMD with the stuff they're going to be doing, or SoFi throughout 2026. To get a double up on Palantir and to literally get closer to like 700-800 bill, that means that something has to happen with their growth rates and their revenue to send people crazy to buy this stock. Is it a possibility? I mean, did anyone really think after the Pelosi crime family bought into Nvidia in 2022 that it was going to pull like a 15x? I saw the word on the street of the Pelosi's buying into Nvidia, and man, I wish that I followed. But I kind of, the whole reason I did not is because I'm like, well, I really don't want to follow them, but you always got to be thinking about it. And there are a lot of big names that are still bullish on Palantir. Let me just say that. Happy Monday once again, people. New video probably tomorrow or the day after. See you then. Stay safe as always, and later.